Hello again, this is Greg. I'm working on another project today. It's kind of a collage assemblage combination kind of thing. It's a patchwork quilt of pieces that I'm putting together, and my technique is very simple. I've really just kind of gathered a bunch of my favorite vintage papers that I have, an old dictionary page, some maps. This is some old Chinese money that I got at a flea market that I enlarged that I really like. Here's another piece of old cover, magazine covers, some vintage photos that I took to a copy machine because the paper is easier to work with when I've copied them. And here's one that I'm actually going to do right now as kind of a little example here. It's a paper from an old sign that I have, and I'm going to use my pine board. I got a bunch of these pine boards at a liquidator's warehouse here in the Portland area. These were about, they were either a nickel or a dime a piece. I can't remember, but I bought a bunch of them in any case. So what I'm going to do for my patchwork collage idea, I'm just simply going to begin by gluing my my vintage paper down onto the board to begin with, and then I'll show you what my next step is in putting this together. Okay, I did glue my vintage paper onto my pine board, and in gluing it down I did use regular gel medium, matte medium. I put a kind of a heavy layer on the board, put the paper down on top, and then I brayer it down, and I just leave it and let it dry. I brayer it again in about 5 minutes, and I really get a nice surface on here. There's no air bubbles, there's nothing like that you have to deal with. So anyway, my paper is glued down and I'm going to let that dry. That's my second step here. Okay, my board with the vintage paper glued on top is dry. There's no bubbles on it at all. What I'm going to do is take it out to my garage where I have my electric saw. I'm going to cut it into a variety of different shapes, and then I'll get back with you. Okay, I've got these cut into a variety of shapes using my electric saw in the garage. I'm now going to take these out to my back patio to my little painting station. I'm going to spray paint. I'm going to turn them upside down, by the way, and I'm going to spray paint the edges of all of these black so that I have a nice black border when I work on my patchwork quilt collage. And then I'll show you the next step. Let's see, I've got everything painted. I've got the edges painted on the back. The back is painted for all of these. The last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of aging around the edges here. I make my own alcohol ink, alcohol dye. I make it in a baby food jar. I use the liquid RIT clothing dye with 99% alcohol that you buy at any store. And basically all I'm going to do, I'm just going to come up here and I'm just going to color in these edges that really didn't get covered by the black paint very well. And when I do this, this alcohol ink kind of runs in or fades into my vintage paper a little bit also. So it's just one tiny little extra detail that kind of adds a nice touch. And I got a really nice finished edge around this at this point. And in fact, I'm going to do all of these, finish these up, these edges with the ink. And then I'll get back with you for the next step. Okay, basically at this point I'm finished with my individual pieces of the collage. So really the fun part kind of starts here. I'm going to tackle this as kind of a puzzle that I'm going to begin to put together, and I'm going to just really start playing with my pieces and putting them in, and you know, kind of discovering what looks good and what doesn't look good. And ordinarily these kinds of puzzles I really don't like doing, you know, those puzzles that you sit down and put together on a table. My mom really liked doing those, and I never enjoyed them at all, but this I really enjoy doing. So I'm going to finish getting this puzzle put together. This piece is it's kind of a top piece, I guess, and I've added some embellishments to it. You know, you don't really even need to add the embellishments to these patchwork pieces. You can just leave them blank, and they're pretty cool, I think, just as they are. But I'm really big on this kind of stuff, so I tend to add a lot of that to it. So anyway, I'm going to finish this one up. I'm going to kind of work out my pieces here. I've got a big old picture here, one that I finished earlier with number 6 on this lady's eye. I'm going to work this into the piece also. So this is my patchwork quilt collage done on pine wood, your old vintage papers, and it's incredibly easy to do. I'll finish this up, photograph it, and get my movie posted so you can get going on this. Thanks for joining me again. We'll see ya. Bye. By the way, I wanted to add one other thing to this. When I'm gluing this stuff together, I use Elmer's Carpenter's wood glue. This stuff is absolutely fantastic. And what I do is, it's also incredibly easy. I just put a thin bead along the side of the board, and then I push it in, and I don't even use clamps. I just push it in kind of tight, hold it for a few seconds, and this stuff, this particular glue sets up really fast, and it's really, really solid. And in fact, this piece right here has been done with my wood glue. So that's the best that I found. There might be some other products that work even better, but this is it. This works for me. So thanks.